Yes, hello everyone, Falls your Ash Goody Cúilín Media. Welcome back. It's another weekend review show, and it's not any ordinary weekend review show. We are reviewing the National Football League finals, which took place across the weekend across all four of the men's football divisions. We're also going to be reviewing three of the National Hurling League finals that took place in Division 2, 3 and 4, and the final round of action from the National LGFA Leagues, which saw some incredible results, incredible turn up for the Bucks, and more pain for Dublin fans. But we'll get into that later on. Liam is with me. Unfortunately, Aaron and Matthew cannot join us. Aaron is making his way. Sorry, Aaron has something come up, but Matthew is making his way back to Cork from Croke Park. Obviously, he was up for the Division 2 and Division 1 finals today. I'm joined by Liam White. Liam, neither of us had any skin in the game today, which is different from last year. Obviously, we were both different from the previous year. So you were involved last year. I was involved the year before. But how we keep it, man?
Yeah, not too bad. Got to see the Offaly Lilies footballers for the first time this afternoon this year. Unfortunate that they didn't get the win either against Carlow, which we'll get on to in a while. But no, have to say the four finals that took place this weekend, we had three very, very close encounters, and then one that happened today, which I'm sure a lot of people are still pleasantly surprised at how it ended. But it brings a good end to the league campaign before we wrap up and get started for the championship in a couple of weeks' time. So looking forward to diving in.
Absolutely so, and we want to give a big shout out as well to Ryan Gallagher, to Peter Griffin, to Dubliners Great, to Great Admiral Dane for leading the charge in the live chat. We have a healthy number watching now. If you're new to the show and you want to get your opinion in, you want to get involved in the discussion, drop a message into the live chat. Let us know what your takes were on the weekend's action, or if you have any questions for myself and Liam that you want us to discuss more in depth. Ryan has a direct question. He said, lads, when will you be dropping your championship review? We recorded our championship preview yesterday in a live studio. All four of us were there. So myself, Matthew, Aaron and Liam were all in a live studio previewing the entire championship season for all four codes: men's football, LGFA, hurling and camogie. We did an episode for each of the codes and previewed all of the competition, so all of the levels. So for the hurling, obviously, we did a preview for the Liam McCarthy, the Joe McDonough, Christy Ring, Nicky Rackard, Laurie Marr, everything like that. And the same thing applied then to all four codes. We're getting the files sent on to us, and they will be out as soon as possible. I'll be doing the edits on them and everything like that and whacking them up. They will 100% they'll 100% be up a healthy bit ahead of championship. So you'll have a lot of time to digest them. But we will have to put out the disclaimer that these were recorded before the league finals took place, because obviously, Liam, a lot of things changed over the weekend. Peter saying, well, lads, how's the form? And so wraps the Football League. Jimmy winning leagues, a late royal flush rumbles the Rebels, no dancing at the crossroad for the Wexicans, and Carlow rise even higher. Peter saying, story of the weekend for me is Carlow. Joe Murphy's interview after with Tommy Rooney off the ball just sums the whole point of it all. And as well as that, Tommy Rooney, I think, Liam, we can both agree, Tommy Rooney is, would you say he's probably the best journalist in the game right now in the GA game? He's definitely up there. Like, he is class. Just his expertise, and like you can tell when he's doing it that he loves the game, and that enthusiasm really comes across.
Yeah,
you know, so saying Desi Reynolds, some player. Dublin is great, saying Jimmy's winning matches, Jimmy's winning leagues, Jimmy's bringing titles back to Donegal again. But we have a lot of questions coming in as well about the red card for Michael Murphy. I want to announce at this stage as well, we are running a poll, so we're going to pop it up down here. Should Michael Murphy have been sent off? Type 1 into the live chat if you think he should have been sent off, and type 2 into the live chat if he shouldn't have been sent off and if the referee made the right call. Duiker saying, proud of the effort for the Wexford lads, but I have to say I thought the ref in that game was horrendous. He definitely got his whistle, forgot his whistle, and it hurt both teams. We have a lot to get through, but I want to state as well that question that was asked about the live episode, the live championship preview. We will be dropping that very, very soon. So keep your eyes peeled for that, and we'll be keeping you up to date with it on the socials and everything like that. But there is only one place to start, Liam. I'm going to keep this tab open across the board. We've had plenty of votes in already. Nobody is saying that Michael Murphy shouldn't have been sent off. The poll will continue. I'm going to take it off the screen. But at any point, if you want to vote in the poll, just type in 1 if you think he should have been sent off, and 2 into the live chat if you think that the right call was made. The poll is still live, but now, Liam, let's get into the game. But Gavin's asking, saying follow-up question, Seamus, should he have gotten a suspension? We'll see. He said Michael Murphy's at home for LGA. He gets away with murder on the field because of who he is. Heard interesting take on Twitter. Could this loss make Kerry's chances of winning Sam even higher? We're gonna come to it. Plenty to go through, but let's jump right in with the main game. Liam, the repeat of last year's All-Ireland final. Revenge for Donegal. They hammer Kerry in Croke Park, 320 to 210. I think of all the ways that people saw this game going, whether they saw Kerry winning, Donegal winning, I don't think anyone saw a one-sided beatdown. And that is exactly what this game went. Donegal, in the first half especially, put daylight between the sides, between the first quarter and the end of the half. All of a sudden, it was 13 points to 1-2 when the game had been neck and neck, especially after Kerry rattled the back of the net. Then in the second half, before Kerry even thought about getting a comeback going, Donegal hit 3 goals in 3 minutes from Michael Murphy, from Conor O'Donnell, which was the pick of the bunch for me, and then Cúilín McGonigal, who was definitely going for a point, but it ended up in the back of the net anyway. Look, I think there's a lot of different ways to look at this, but the reality is, regardless, and like, people are going to come in saying, oh, it's just the league final, it's not the be-all and end-all, but losing a game like this is damaging. This is Kerry's worst defeat since they lost the All-Ireland semi-final to Meath in 2001. That is not good for Kerry going into the championship, regardless of whatever way you spin it. It's a psychological advantage to Donegal now heading into championship.
Yeah, it absolutely is. No, it's a savage win for Donegal. They were completely the better side from the very start of the game right until the very finish of it. Like, even the fact that Kerry only had scored 1-1 by the 27th minute, or was it the 28th minute, is absolutely probably scandalous considering the talent that they have up front. And yeah, for Donegal, they were just right on it right from the very start. And like you mentioned, the 3 goals that they got in the space of 3 minutes really just summed up the dominance that they had in the game. The goal from O'Donnell was absolutely terrific. The way he just struck it off his left foot was absolutely savage. And yeah, look, with the Michael Murphy stuff, look, he should have been sent off if we're going to be honest about it. I think he's very fortunate not to have been receiving a red card for that. Like, I think I said it to you off camera, Manny Pacquiao would have been proud of that box, to be honest with you. But
Mike Tyson would have been proud of that liver shot.
Absolutely. No, it was a great shot, to be honest with you. But obviously, if he doesn't stay on the field, he doesn't get his goal and everything like that. But look, at the end of the day, I don't think it would have made a difference if he was sent off or not. I think Donegal would have still won that game in the end comfortably. Kerry just didn't look energetic at all. They nearly didn't look like they wanted to be there, to be honest with you. Donegal were going for a second National League title, and you could tell that Jimmy wanted to win a national title, you know, after the heartbreak of losing the All-Ireland final last year. And this could potentially be the first of, you know, a few meetings between Kerry and Donegal this year. You never know. They could meet a few more times this year. And Donegal have landed 2 blows now, met them in the league earlier on and bet them, and now they've dismantled them here again. And their forwards were absolutely savage. I mean, Michael Langan was absolutely terrific. 6 points, all coming from play, a couple of 2-pointers as well. Murphy got a goal and 5 points. Conor O'Donnell got a goal and a point. Ryan McHugh from wing-back getting 3 points. He's a player that I rate very, very highly. I think he's one of the best, if not the best wing-back potentially in the country, or certainly is right now anyway. Max Campbell getting 3 points as well. McGonigal getting the goal as well. The fact that the half-back line scored 1-6 tells you everything you need to know about the dominance that they had today. So, yeah, look, Donegal overall, I think overall from the league campaign, they've been the best side in it. There's no doubt about that. Take away the defeat against Roscommon, even in the games where they didn't perform, like the Galway one, they still wrapped up a draw. So, yeah, look, Kerry were awful, but Donegal, if anyone deserved to win this league campaign overall based on performances and everything like that, I think Donegal richly deserved it. And yeah, absolutely. It's not ideal from Kerry to have lost a final. And ironically, doesn't Jack O'Connor only win All-Irelands when he wins the National League? So maybe if you believe in conspiracy theories and all that, maybe this isn't a great sign for Kerry now. But yeah, look, a great performance from Donegal, and they richly deserved it.
Absolutely so. And I'm delighted to see Brian O'Riordan back on the show in the live chat. Brian, obviously great to have you back. He's saying that flurry of 3 consecutive goals for Donegal between the 42nd and 45th minute effectively sealed the win. Meanwhile, TG Carr have nominated Michael Langan for the man of the match with 6 points. He was absolutely fantastic. Sean Sugar saying Gavin White, Paddy Clifford, Brino Buglik and Shane Ryan all out, 4 All-Stars from last year. This is just Kerry losing to Meath 2.0. And look, I get it that, you know, they were missing players and stuff like that, but So are Donegal. Like, Donegal didn't start Finbar Rorty. They were missing Oisin Gallen. They weren't at full strength. And there's a way to lose these games. I know that's stupid saying, but Kerry got annihilated. And there's no way to spin this in a way that's positive. There's a way to lose. There's a way to... Yeah. Ryan saying, Seamus, are you sure that McGonigal was going for the point? Absolutely. He was 100% going for the point, and it just ended up going over Shane Murphy's head into the back of the net. Like, I think that situation, Shane Ryan probably saves that shot. And there's things that you can spin, but there's a way to go down. There's a way to go down swinging. And Kerry in the second half, especially after the Michael Murphy incident where he got away with the red card, ironically, Donegal just took over. And that's what we'll come to next, because as we've seen with the poll here, by the way, this is still live, guys, for anybody who's joined the show. So far, a clean sweep that Michael Murphy should have been sent off. This is what's interesting. So it's one of the key talking points from the game. And immediately on Twitter, that was what everybody was talking about. And Grand Admiral Dane said there would be an absurd amount of hype around Donegal now, and that could be to their detriment. I do agree that they have to be careful about how they manage this now. But yeah, let's tackle that Michael Murphy red card. So, like, it's one of the key parts of the game. Michael Murphy, should he have got a red card? That's the question that most people have been asking. And to be honest, like, most people are saying Michael Murphy should have been sent off for that incident. Most people are saying he should have got a red card. And when you watch the replay back, it's very, very hard to argue that he shouldn't have. I haven't seen anybody coming out saying he absolutely deserved to stay on the field. The first of all, his shoulder challenge on Dylan Casey was quite high. That caught him on the jaw. His second shot, he tackles with a closed fist straight into the liver, a liver shot that Mike Tyson would have been proud of. And then his third one, it lands here, like right on the line between the jaw and the neck. Very, very dangerous piece of play. And a lot of people are kind of blaming David Goff for this, but David Goff didn't see it. He did the right thing because Dylan Casey's back was turned. He couldn't actually see where Murphy made contact. David Goff goes over to the linesman, discusses it with him. Linesman obviously said yellow card. David Goff gives a yellow card. You can't really blame Goff for that incident. But when you watch it back in slow motion, Michael Murphy should have got a red card. And at that stage, Donegal were winning by a point. It was 5 points to 1-1. It wasn't exactly runaway territory. Now, Donegal were deserving winners before I say this. But if Michael Murphy had got sent off at that stage, the game might have taken a different path. And I'm saying that as a Dublin fan. So I can understand the frustrations about why he didn't get sent off. The question is, can there still be something done about it? And if so, should there be something done about it? Should he get a red card in the aftermath, or should that be allowed?
I just think, look, David Goff obviously saying he didn't see it. That is where you need your linesman. That is where you need someone to just point it out to him and say, this is after happening. Because whatever about the referee not seeing it, there's no way that a linesman doesn't see that. There's absolutely no way, in my opinion. And like, even the tackles he was putting in before that, I wouldn't even call them tackles, to be honest with you. He was literally trying to get the ball back through force more than anything. And like, you want to teach, especially young people, about how to tackle in Gaelic football and, you know, how to win the ball back fairly. That is just not how you do it. You know, it's absolutely, in terms of him getting a ban or doing anything about it. Look, I can't see Kerry GA or anything like that going in and putting in an appeal saying he should be banned or anything like that. Will the GA do something? Again, I don't think so. I think more than anything, given the caliber player he is, I just don't get a feeling that the GA will. They won't want to sanction, if we're going to be honest, one of their hottest properties in one of the best footballers in the country. Do you know, I just don't
let's tackle that. Let's tackle that. Yeah. Because a lot of people are saying it's because he's Michael Murphy that he got away with it. Is this true? Like, do players like Michael Murphy, with the status of Michael Murphy, with the status of a David Clifford, with the status of a Con O'Callaghan, and I'm not saying that Con is necessarily dirty, but I'm saying, like, do players with the status of Michael Murphy, the status of a David Clifford, the status of one of the biggest players in the game, do they get exceptional treatment? Do they get free passes on stuff that other players wouldn't get away with? Is this something that we see in our game, or is this just simply a situation where the linesman got it wrong?
See, it's a funny one because it points me back to when Henry Shefflin was sent off in 2013. You remember, against Cork, wasn't that his like first ever red card for Kilkenny or something like that? And there was at times even when he wasn't probably the cleanest player on the pitch, and you'd often wondered maybe was it because of who he was and what he did over his career and everything like that. You see it in other sports as well. Certain players can get away with things that others don't. Look, maybe I'm talking out of my arse here, and maybe it's not true. Maybe just simply was the referee didn't see it, and if he'd have seen what actually did happen, then maybe he'd have sent him off, regardless of who he is. But you can't deny that there is some bit of not even maybe a small bit of favoritism towards certain players in the game that have high profile in the game after what they've done over the last number of years. I think it's in every sport. I don't just think it'll be in Gaelic games or anything like that. I think it's in multiple sports. I think it's in soccer. I think it's in rugby. And I definitely think it's in Gaelic games, to be honest with you. So, but it's even stuff off the field, like, or off courses or anything like that. So you see even Tiger Woods, he's probably getting away with what he did at the weekend, in Florida. Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So I think it's in every sport. Certain big players can kind of get away with things. Like you said there, if David Clifford had done that, would he have been sent off again? Very debatable. Very debatable.
I don't think he would have.
Exactly.
We've comments coming in saying that Clifford is sometimes treated harshly. Yeah, but I was at the Dublin Kerry game, and trust me, he played the Dublin defenders who were marking him. He talked a lot of shit, and he was playing the sledging game just as much as they were playing it with him. I think he gives exactly as much as he gets, and maybe he doesn't get the rub of the green on some calls, but I remember one tackle he put in, especially on Shane McGuigan when Kerry played Derry, where he absolutely bodied Shane McGuigan with a shoulder to the chest. And I remember thinking, if that had been done on Clifford, there'd be uproar. So definitely there is a bit of, I think it's just there's nobody who's completely innocent in this situation, but it did feel straight away like he has absolutely got away with one there. And because of the fact that it's Michael Murphy, he's one of the biggest names in the game. I think straight away people are going to, he only got away with it because it's Michael Murphy. And he wouldn't have got away with it if it was just a normal player. But when you look at that situation again, it's not David Goff who saw it. David Goff went to the linesman and asked the linesman, what was it, yellow or red? Linesman obviously said yellow. So Goff can't get the blame for this. The linesman should have spotted that. A closed fist to the jaw or to the neck should have been a red card. And interestingly, when TG Carr did the game, all three pundits said red card. And I haven't seen anybody saying that it shouldn't have been a red card. So the question is, should the GAA suspend him now? Should that be something that we can do? In my opinion, anytime somebody talks about VAR, like Ryan saying it here, believe me, VAR would be the worst thing to happen to Gaelic football. The worst thing. It managed to ruin a pretty straightforward sport in football. If you added VAR to GAA, let's be honest, every single player takes more than 4 steps every time they have the ball. It would ruin every single attack. It would ruin, every single attack will be brought back for steps. And yeah, I just think VAR needs to stay away from our game. But when you have situations like this where there's a clear replay, who knows? It will be interesting to see. The question is, we can all see it now. I haven't seen anybody say that it shouldn't have been a red card, but the question now is, should the GAA have something in place where when it is an obvious red card, they can go back and suspend the player afterwards, in a similar way that Jim McConnelly got a suspension when he pulled the linesman's jersey that time, or made barely any contact with the linesman. But yeah, what do you think?
I think, look, they'll have video analysis. They'll be able to go back in a meeting maybe this week if they were to call him in and pinpoint that and say, oh yeah, this is a definite red card. You're getting a suspension. You can't be doing that. You're getting a 3-game suspension. But I agree, VAR for me in GAA, I don't even like VAR in soccer, to be honest with you.
We're seeing players getting sent off for fuck all in soccer now.
Exactly.
Right.
Like I'm really not a fan of VAR and GA. Like you said, I think it would ruin every single decision. Like you mentioned, players are taking more than 4 steps in every single move now at this stage. There's like, I think the introduction of Hawkeye was a great idea. Absolutely. We needed something like that. But VAR, like, see, soccer is a slowed down game that you feel like you might have to analyze some decisions. Whereas with GEA, you just absolutely cannot analyze every single decision. Like, so many decisions, some of the best moments even in history, some of them might get chalked off. Do you know? Like you and Aaron have mentioned about McMenamin's goal in 2011. That could have been
Yeah.
chalked off with
That
VAR.
could have been talked off for steps.
Exactly. I'm even still wondering how many
Lee
steps Joe
Keegan's
Canning.
2016 goal. Aidan
I'm
O'Shea
even
overcarried.
I'm even wondering about Joe Canning's goal in the 2012 All Ireland final. How many steps did he take going through the entire Kilkenny defence? I still wonder about that one. So, but they were some of the best moments in GEA history, and you'd be taking it away from people. So, and I mean, you get VAR for what? Inter-county games. You wouldn't get it for club games. You're not getting it at a local club ground. Do you know what I mean? Because, well, first of all, you probably get someone boxing you, some local, to be honest
There
with
we go.
you. Yeah. Oh, jeez. No, thank you. We don't win much. We have to keep that one. But no, for me, VAR and GA, absolutely not. Look, there's cameras all around the place. There's TV coverage. If they want to go into a meeting and look back on that and suspend them, fair enough. But VAR, keep it away.
Yeah, I agree. I think I understand people saying, in my opinion, it wasn't the right decision, but I don't think that they should go back and suspend them now, because I think if you do that, it can open up the door potentially for silly red cards and stuff like that. But it's an interesting one, and a lot of people talking about it. Owen Merchant's goal in 2019. Yeah, but that, let's be honest, that should have been called without VAR. And H2 said, but I've never celebrated a goal like it in my life. Absolutely. We've lots of comments coming in about this. Peter saying, Seamus, agree with your general thoughts on VAR, but definitely an incident like this, the ref should go to a screen and have a look at it. Sean saying it has ruined football, and I see what you're saying, Seamus, but it has worked overall in rugby. Like, maybe you could have a situation where, like, maybe it goes to the screen if it's a red card incident or something like that. Grant Kevin here saying, Donegal man here, I don't think I've ever seen a team play as good as that ever. And that's the big thing. Is let's take it back to the positives here. Michael Langan put on an exhibition. 6 points and some of the most beautiful kicking that you'll see in Croke Park in any game in any era. He is a fabulous footballer. And the 3 goals that Donegal got were brilliant. Like, I know Caolan McGonigal was probably going for a point, but outside of that, Murphy's interception and the finish was superb. And Conor O'Donnell's goal was a beauty. They were absolutely worthy winners today.
Oh, they were. They absolutely were. No, like you can't deny Donegal being the better side overall. I mean, they reduced Kerry to scoring 1-2 at half time. Do you know what I mean? Like, and this is a Kerry team that has stars in their forward line. And I'm not even exaggerating when I say that. They have David Clifford in their forward line. They have Keith Evans, who I've been very impressed with. They have Dylan Gainey, Sean O'Shea, Joe O'Connor. Like, they have some savage forwards, Graham O'Sullivan. Like, if you're keeping that basically scoreless for an entire half, then you're doing something absolutely right. So, look, Donegal today were just absolutely magnificent. You take you take the incident away from Murphy, I still think they win that game. Even if Murphy gets sent off, I still think they win that game. I think they were just more hungrier today. I think they were more up for the fight today. They were much better at chasing the ball. They were much better at catching the ball. And yeah, I thought their defense was really, really solid. Their midfield won the battle today as well. So, like, nobody can take that away from Donegal. And like I said earlier, they were the best side over the course of the league season. They played some very good football at times, and their work rate has been absolutely savage. I will say it's funny seeing Jim McGuinness after the match. Actually, I don't know if you've seen it or not, saying that he didn't see the incident himself. But I'm also thinking this is the typical Arsene Wenger, I did not see it incident. Now you're thinking, if I was on the other shoe, what would he be saying? That's all I'm saying. Look, every manager is going to do this. They're going to defend their own player. But I would be curious. Yeah, like, if I just would be curious if that was Finbar Rorty, say, getting boxed by Sean O'Shea or something, what would he have said? Like, it is an interesting.
It is very interesting. But we will we'll keep the discussion going. I suppose the last thing is then that's the bag complete for Jim McGuinness in terms of honours won as manager with Donegal. He's won it all now. He's won the league, he's won the Ulster Championship, and he's won the All Ireland. Obviously, he'd want to get another All Ireland with Donegal this year. But the big question is, and this is one of the most important things, it was an incredible win for Donegal, but we have to understand that at this stage, over the last few seasons, I remember 2024, everyone was saying Dublin, Derry, or Kerry. The All Ireland is going to come from one of those three, especially after Dublin and Derry put on a classic in that league final. And then none of them got to the All Ireland final that year. It was Armagh and Galway in the final. Dublin, Derry, and Kerry all crashed out before the showpiece event. So Donegal and Kerry look like the two best teams in Ireland right now. Kerry maybe not so much after today, but you can't forget how good they are. They are still one of the top two teams in the country, whichever way you spin it. How much is this going to have an impact on the championship now? Donegal winning, but Donegal not only winning, but winning in this way. How much of an impact does that have on the championship now? Because a lot of people are saying that it's between Donegal and Kerry for the All Ireland. But how much of an impact does that have?
I think it puts counties on alert about how good this Donegal team is. And I think it's putting them on alert thinking, okay, we're going to, especially teams now in Ulster as well, it's given them an outlook of, okay, this is the team to beat now. It's not Kerry. It's actually Donegal that we have to beat now because they've beaten essentially the All-Ireland champions and they've been the most impressive side over the course of the season. Probably showed how you can beat Kerry, while it's also the fact that Kerry do have players to come back, and maybe Jack didn't want to show too much. But at the same time, it will show some flaws in Kerry. There's no doubt about that. Look, you're kind of wondering, is Jack O'Connor going to come out, or is a player going to come out, or someone going to come out and say, look, we don't care about the league, this wasn't important, etc.
Bullshit.
At the same time, but at the same
you
time,
don't care about the league. Easy to say after you lose.
That's what I mean. It's very easy to say after you lose. What would you have said if you'd won? Do you know? And you won it last year, so you clearly do care about it. And you got to the final, so you clearly do care about it. So, look, like you said 2 years ago about Derry, Dublin, and Armagh, and then Kerry, sorry, and then Derry absolutely capitulated in the opening round against Donegal. I don't see Donegal capitulating against Down in the opening round of the Ulster Championship or anything like that. Could they be beaten by Armagh? Absolutely, they could be. Or could they be beaten by a Derry this time around? Could it be a switcheroo? Absolutely, it could be. But at this moment in time, I think it establishes Donegal potentially as All-Ireland favourites now. But at the same time, I don't think Kerry... Look, Kerry have won enough in their history. I don't think they're going to lose sleep over losing this, but I can't imagine they're going to be too pleased to have gone up and been beaten by 13 points by one of their direct All-Ireland rivals. There's no question about that. But they also have a number of weeks now to rest and to get prepared for, like, if we're going to be honest, their first proper championship match for me will probably be the Cork final, because I don't think they'll have any issues getting past Clare in the semi-finals. So, but they have time to prepare for all that before they head into the All-Ireland series. But at this moment in time, it shakes up the championship to a degree. And look, there's an absolute possibility that it won't be a Donegal-Kerry final. There's no question about that. But even judging off today, I still would be very surprised if we don't see Kerry in the final later this year, and again, potentially against Donegal.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Like, credit to Donegal, a superb win. Now Jim McGuinness has completed the set. He has the league, he has the Ulster Championships, and now he obviously has an All-Ireland as well. Jim's completed the set. He has a league to go with the All-Ireland and the Ulster Championships he's won previously. So he's completed the set. Fair play from this win. But they will know that this doesn't impact the championship that much. For Kerry, it's very, very disappointing to lose the way that they lost, especially for the fans that made the trip up to Croke Park. But we saw it in previous years that winning the league final does not equate to you then going on and winning the All-Ireland. And you could see it with Donegal when the game was over. They weren't exactly falling over themselves celebrating. They were smiling and everything like that, but they know there's another job to do. There's an All-Ireland to win, and that's what they're aiming for. So they'll take this. They'll be happy with it, but they're not done yet. And that is what makes this rivalry so damn special. That's what makes this rivalry so damn good. But we're going to move on now to the next game. Just before we do, we read out the last comments about this game. Dublin is great saying Donegal have a month off now, so they should be all right. Gavin says, I'd fancy Armagh to beat Kerry if they met in the championship. Very, very interesting comments there, guys. And of course, the poll, I'll stop it now, but 100% of respondents said that Michael Murphy should have been sent off for that incident. So still nobody taking the opposing view, which in the GA is usually quite common, people taking the opposing view. Armagh Champ saying Dublin and Kildare down. Yeah, Dublin and Kildare relegated into Division 1 of the LGFA League, which we will come to after the league finals. Dublin got the win today, but it wasn't enough given other results. So we've just had a fantastic league campaign in terms of football. The hurling has been a lot kinder to us. We're going to move on now to Division 2 and the clash between Meath and Cork. So unfortunately for our good pal Matthew, Cork couldn't get over the line in this one, but it has still been a brilliant league campaign for the Rebels, achieving promotion to Division 1 alongside Meath. Both counties, I think it's fair to say, long overdue this promotion back to the Premier Division. Meath 122, Cork 217. Meath returned to Division 1 as champions of Division 2 after winning a very, very entertaining game against Cork. There is no question what the key parts of this game were. Meath outscored Cork 9 points to 1-1 from the 46th minute to the end of the game, hitting 8 unanswered points in one stage during a key spell, while Cork went 16 minutes without scoring at one stage as well. And the dog is not letting me talk about this fucking game. But anyway, Liam, I'll throw it over to you. What did you make of this one?
The dog doesn't approve of Meath winning at all. But yeah, no, look, I have to say, given our predictions, a bit of a spoiler alert, I'm glad that Meath have won this game now, because it'll make my prediction look somewhat respectful once the video comes out. But yeah, look, a great win for Meath. Savage for them to win the Division 2 title. I have to say, really enjoyed this game. Got to see it when I came home from the Offaly match, and yeah, Meath play. I think it was a really enjoyable game of football overall. Two teams going at it, and you know what? I think they're going to serve up some surprises in Division 1 next year, to be honest with you. They don't look like two teams that will easily come straight back down, to be honest with you. Now, I know it's a year out already, and we could be talking absolute shite saying that right now, but they looked like two very, very competent teams out there today. And look, I know Cork would be thinking, it would have been nice to have had a bit of national silverware heading into the Munster Championship, but at the same time, they got promotion. That was the main thing. And look, it's always difficult to beat the same team twice in 1 year. Never mind beating them in the space of a couple of weeks. So I think Meath would have been absolutely gunning to win today after losing to Cork, and that was the only game that they lost in the league as well. So I think it was a good revenge mission that they were going on today. And yeah, Robbie Brennan has landed national silverware, and especially after losing the Leinster final last year in Croke Park, to now win a national title in Croke Park is absolutely huge for them. So yeah, look, fair play to Meath. Like you said, the final quarter of the game, final 20 minutes of the game is where they really took over and really, rubbed their shoulders, or I don't know the phrase, but they
Shoulder to the wheel, is it?
Yeah. It's been a long day. But no, they were absolutely, they were excellent, to be fair, and their forwards did really well as well. Yeah, Jordan Morris, who got 3 points, Owen Frayne got 3 points, Jack O'Connor got a goal and 2 points, Rory Kinsella 5 points. Rory Kinsella is one of the best footballers in the country at the moment. He's stepping up massively for this Meath side. And having your goalkeeper as well, and Sean Brennan scoring 3 points as well, is absolutely crucial. And yeah, look, overall, savage win for them. It gives them great confidence going into the Leinster Championship. Probably confirms them now, I would say, possibly as the favourites for the Leinster title. Probably, I would say, at this stage. But of course, still a few more weeks to go before that gets underway. But yeah, a great confidence booster for Meath heading into the championship anyways. There's no doubt about that.
Absolutely so. And there's no doubt at all what the key stages of this game were. The key stages for Meath, they outscored Cork 9 points to 1-1 from the 46th minute to the end of the game. They hit 8 unanswered points in the second half during a key spell, and Cork at one point went 16 minutes without scoring. And in a national final, that's usually going to cost you. And ultimately, that did tip the balance in Meath's favour. There's no question about it. And one of the greatest things about this game is when you look through the annals of GA, when you look through GA history, Cork and Meath at the end of the 80s and the start of the 90s was one of the best GA rivalries you'll ever see. Like the absolute intensity of those games between both of those sides and the legends on both teams, from Larry Tompkins to Mick Lyons. Like, it's pretty awesome to see them both, back in the top table. And they put on a brilliant game, far more entertaining than the Division 1 league final. And actually a bit of celebration at the end, which I'm going to be honest saying this, I don't like how they've just killed celebrating after a Division 1 league final win. Like, do you see Division 4, Carlow win? They go mental. Division 3, down win. They celebrate even though they were raging hot favourites to win that game. Division 2, Meath win. And they are delighted to get over the line. And you can see the happiness on their face. Regardless of whether it's been Donegal winning this year, Kerry winning last year, Derry winning the year before. Everyone's just like, at full time, just shake hands and go up and lift the cup. They genuinely lift the cup like they don't care. And I'm just like, that's a way to kill a competition. Like, that's a way to, if you seem like you're almost kind of not arsed winning. What do you make about it? Like, how do we inject that life back into it where teams are delighted to win it?
It's the same that we see in soccer at the moment, with a lot of people saying, oh, look at him, he's celebrating like he's won the World Cup. Do you know? And I'm starting to get this thing of like, why shouldn't they? Like, why are we trying to kill people celebrating or people enjoying themselves when they win a game or score a goal or score a try or something like that? Like, I completely agree. Like, I was jumping in Croke Park last year when we won the Division 3 final, to be honest with you. Like, I was jumping when we survived the Leinster Championship last year against Antrim. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have to celebrate these things. Like, otherwise, what are you playing sport for? What are we going? What are we doing? Like, what are we doing here? Like, you know, my voice is breaking because I'm saying this. Like, do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. Like I loved seeing the rest of the division teams that won this weekend celebrating and actually embracing it and enjoying it. Like, I don't care if Donegal won by 13 points. I don't care if they won in the last minute. Like, they're nearly turning them into robots. Do you know what I mean? It's just like stone face. Yeah, just shake hands, be respectful. I was like, nah, screw that. Go and celebrate. Go rile up the crowd. Go jump into the crowd. Go jump on someone. Do something. Like, you know, to show a bit of energy. Go full, like, even though it's heartbreaking to say it's not, go full Troy Parrott against Hungary. Do you know, just rip the shirt off. Go knee sliding. To anyone who's listening to this, I'm sorry to bring that up again, but like, just go and enjoy yourself and everything like that. It's something that I'm just afraid that is getting taken out of every sport, to be honest with you. That people are like, oh, look at this guy celebrating or over celebrating or all this kind of stuff. Why wouldn't you? You've just won a national title. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like go and celebrate. You've beaten one of your rivals. Like, go and have the crack. Go and celebrate. Go jumping up and down. Do a knee slide. Like it's, I don't know. Like, it is. We see it in the provincial championships as well. You see Kerry winning the Munster football or Kilkenny winning the Leinster hurling, and it's mild applause. Whereas you look at Cork winning Munster last year, they're all pitch invasions. You look at Donegal winning Ulster, pitch invasions. Do you know what I mean? That's exactly what we want, and that's exactly what our game needs, to be honest with you. So yeah, look, I'm not a fan of it at all, but look, that's just my opinion on it.
Yeah, Gavin has a couple of good points here, saying I disagree. Derry loved it. Depends who wins Division 1. Like, Kerry win it regularly. Natural that they didn't react last year. I'd rebut that point though, Gavin. I was there for the Dublin Derry game, and there was so much beef in that game. There was so much shit talk. There was so much aggression in that game. And Derry won on penalties. And the minute that final penalty was saved, you're like, Oran Lynch did a little, but then the Derry players just walk over, shook hands, no jumping around, no celebrating, and they go up and collect the cup. And I remember thinking at the time that was like them sending a message to Dublin that, you know, they were coming for that All Ireland and they weren't just happy with winning the Division 1 title. But like, celebrate something. Like, Derry didn't celebrate the way that team, and Derry hadn't won Division 1 in a long time. And I get it that Kerry win it regularly enough, but Donegal don't. They won Division 1 and their fans made a long trip. So yeah, I do think, like, give a bit more celebration in terms of winning these, because you like, but then I don't know, because you can't be like to the teams, jump around more. Like you can't really do that. Yeah, the competition has to mean a little
But
bit more. But Kieran, with just this comment, Liam, Kieran saying, finally, James, someone shares my views about the lack of celebration after a final. Derry in 2024 really irked me, and now Donegal, you'd think they were swimming in national titles. Like, I look at it and I'm just like, we want to see that kind of explosion of happiness and energy and everything like that. Yeah, it's an interesting one because I don't really know exactly what the solution is, but I just wish that they'd be a bit happier about winning national silverware. That's my main thing. When you see like Carlow winning Division 4, Down winning Division 3, Meath winning Division 2, and the happiness at the end compared to then the robotic nature of when Donegal won. Even then, like, I'm not criticizing Donegal. I'm criticizing like the current state of how players at the top level of the game have gone very robotic. I'll put it this way. Donegal are 13 points ahead with a minute left. And they're hand passing it around and running the clock down. Just they're playing keep ball. I'm like, lads, for fuck's sake, like you're 13 points up. There's a minute and a half left. Entertain the crowd. go for it. Like, go for an outside of the boot shot at the post. You've got nothing to lose. Yeah. What are they going to do? Score 13 points in a minute? And but it's just like professionalism. And like sometimes it feels very robotic, and it felt slightly robotic towards the end of the game today, especially when the full-time whistle went, and it was very like, yes, sir. Well done. Congratulations. See you in the championship. And
it's like, and there's no guarantee either that Donegal will go and win Ulster this year. There's no guarantee they'll go win in All-Ireland this year. Donegal could have just won their last piece of silverware for years. We don't know. Like, life's funny, you know. So for me, you got to celebrate these things like it's your last one, because you don't know when it's going to be your last one. At the end of the day, like you said,
great comment here. Wait, great comment. A2 saying Tip last year spent the last 5 minutes showing off and going for Hollywood scores, proper taking the piss. And what one was more entertaining? Noel McGrath hitting the score. Are you kidding me? Were you not entertained?
And
like
this
is sport at the end of the day, but it's entertainment too. The fans want to be entertained. It's no coincidence, and I get it that the professionalism that the Dublin setup brought in under Pat Gilroy and Jim Gavin was absolutely crucial in the Dubs winning as much as we did. 100% agree with that. But there's a reason that more Dublin fans went during the Pillar Caffrey era, because the Dublin team were mental. You never knew what they were going to do. If they scored a goal, we were running in front of Hill 16 going mental. Mayo warm up down in front of Hill 16, Dublin run out and run straight down to the same end. That would have never happened under Gilroy or Gavin.
No.
The professionalism took over, and it took over the game. And to some degree, it's kind of happened across all sports, where that kind of character side has been turned into very professionalism, kind of robotic. But I'd like to see it added back in a bit more, and celebrating these titles, I think, is a great way to do it. I wouldn't be opposed to like playing the league finals in a different ground so that you could have pitch invasions at the end. Maybe that could be a way to spark that life back into it.
Absolutely. I wouldn't disagree with that at all, especially with the numbers at these league finals over the last number of years. What was there? 24,000 last year in Croke Park. Do you know what I mean? For the Division 1 final. Like, that was a terrible number. Do you know what I mean? And like, they've taken the league finals out of Croke Park in the hurling, or at least the large majority have been over the last number of years. And you can see, in my opinion, I think you can see the impact that it's had. You saw what it meant to Clare to beat Waterford in 2016 in Thurles, and what that meant to the supporters. You saw what it meant to Cork last year to win the National League title against Tipperary. They had a pitch invasion. Do you know what I mean? But I don't mind that stuff. I actually like seeing that, because you're like, do you know what? Well, obviously the stewards won't like seeing it. The stewards don't like it, but
the stewards don't like seeing it. But who doesn't? Like that? That's what memories are made of.
Exactly. And like, I'm all for, you got to be professional. You got to be this. You got to be that. Except, like, I'll put it this way: if Arsenal win the league in May, I will not be professional. Absolutely not. I'm going to be rubbing it in. I'm going to be salty, and I'm going to be everything like that until it gets to a point. Do you know what I mean? You got to,
especially if Spurs get relegated.
Oh man, that'll be sorry to any Spurs fans listening. No, not sorry to any Spurs fans listening. I hope you do get relegated, but yeah, no, I think there needs to be a bit of life back into these sorts of competitions again. Professionalism is great up until a certain point. Like you said, you never knew what certain Dublin teams in the past were going to do. You never knew what Mayo teams, what Meath teams were going to do, what Cork teams were going to do. You didn't even know what Kilkenny teams were going to do. Do you know what I mean? Like, to be fair to Brian Cody, I'll give him credit for one thing. He used to always still celebrate every win like it was his last one. Do you know what I mean? I'll give him credit for that. Like, it always meant something to him. It just didn't look like it meant that much to say Jim McGuinness today and the Donegal. And you're just like, come on, just give us a smile, give us something.
Peter saying, lads, the mad character of the games are gone really. Like Peter, like sport is an escape. You have to celebrate the wins. I do agree. Like, what are the most iconic moments? Like, even as a Dublin fan, like Owen Mulligan when he scored a goal into the hill and like did his real like stared the hill down. I'm like, you never see that today. You never see that today. These are the characters that we want in the game back. We're going to move back to the game because that's definitely a different debate, but just a little bit more emotion back into the game, I think would be good for not just the All-Ireland, but let's make ways of people get really invested and celebrate competitions, because the way that the last 3 league wins have been celebrated would have you convinced that they didn't really care about winning the competition. And on top of that, the whole narrative about the minute that a team loses, do they want to get to the league final? And we don't really care about the league and all. Like, let's bring the energy back into the league. Let's make people invested in the league again and love the league again. And the same way that Division 2, Division 3 and Division 4 celebrate the league, let's make Division 1 teams want to win the league that badly and celebrate winning the league that much. That's what I'd be saying from that. But yeah, we are going to move back to Division 2. And the final question that I'll ask for you, Liam, on this game is if you could just summarise it for me. How did Meath turn Cork over in this game?
Yeah, but look, it was fairly close, particularly in the first half. Cork were 12 points to 10 in front. Cork had a great period from the 18th minute right up until around the 25th minute, 7-minute period, where anything that they just kicked, it went over the bar. And ironically, of course, it was Stephen Sherlock that was at the forefront of it. And I think having him back this year is absolutely crucial for Westmeath to be, or Westmeath, Jesus, sorry. I don't know why I said Westmeath. Something popped up on my phone about Westmeath, and that's just where my brain went, for Cork. And yeah, look, like Cork this year are going to be a better side, and they're going to be a competitive side this year with the Finbars man there. There's no question about that. But you have players as well like Chris Oak-Jones, who, again, is a very, very accomplished forward, in my opinion, right now, and is going to be one of the most dangerous forwards in the country this year. You have midfielders like Colm O'Callaghan as well, who's had a very, very good league campaign as well. And yeah, straight after half-time, I mean, the game didn't slow down. It didn't derail or anything like that. If anything, there was new life brought to it when you had Jack O'Connor kicking a 2-pointer and then immediately going down the other end, Chris Oak-Jones gets a goal. And it sparked real new life into the game, in my opinion, before Jack O'Connor then got a goal himself. And yeah, like you mentioned there, Meath then just decided, now we're taking over here, and absolutely butchered Cork for the guts of the final 20-25 minutes. And look, it was unfortunate for James Conlon to get the black card towards the end, but the game was won at that stage, so I doubt he would have been losing too much sleep over that, or Robbie Brennan or anything like that. But at the same time, it was great from me to win this. Gives them great confidence going into the Leinster Championship now. And I would say probably overall, much like Donegal, deserved to win the league based off their performances and results in Division 2. But Cork, look, it's a tough defeat for them to take, but they are going up against, for me, the favourites for Leinster, and I would say a potential contender for the All-Ireland this year. And they lost by 2 points, and they were neck and neck with them for a large majority of the game. And they're getting players back competing at a good level at the absolute right time. Mark Cronin's, Colm O'Callaghan's, Brian O'Driscoll was playing today, Stephen Sherlock getting 9 points, Ian Maguire's. You know, these are the players, Daniel O'Mahony, these are the players that Cork need performing at a high level. It's given them the exposure of playing in Croke Park at a national final day as well. And for me, I think they'll be in the Munster final this year against Kerry. And yeah, and after watching Kerry today as well, even Cork, even though they lost to Meath themselves, could be thinking, do you know what? We have a chance of winning a Munster title this year. There's no question about that. So, yeah, no, it was a great game of football. Really enjoyed it. Well, I wouldn't say I really enjoyed Division 2 this year, to be honest with you. But I enjoyed it like the games. I enjoyed seeing
We'll enjoy it next year, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see.
Hopefully we bounce straight back up.
Division 3 content coming next year. But yeah, look, it was excellent it was still an excellent performance, I think, from Cork. They'll have regrets, of course they will. But I think overall, get to a league final, you only lost by 2 points, and you have a Munster Championship campaign, which I think they're on a good side of the draw. And yeah, plenty of improvements have been made by Cleary in the last number of weeks. And yeah, you can tell.
Absolutely. So we've got plenty of comments coming in about this game, but I want to highlight this one, especially Mark Bennett saying great win for the Meath under 20 hurlers today. First Antrim, now Carlow, get to play in Leinster proper now. Mark, if you were watching that game, you might have noticed the familiar face doing the commentary. I was commentating on that game for Clubber TV down in St. Patrick's GAA. Very, very impressive win for the Meath under 20s, especially players like Louis McIver and Cathal Barron as well. Looked fantastic. Really, really good win for Meath in that game. But then a very, very good win for Meath in this Division 2 final. The good thing is for the GAA is that both of these counties are on the way back to where they should be. And there's no question about it. For the GAA, it's a win-win. Both of these counties back at the top drawer, back at the top level where they should be based off their history and based off what they've achieved in the past, their population, the engagement, everything like that. It's great to have Meath and Cork back dining at the top table where they belong. We're going to move on now to the Division 3 final. And this one was a lot closer than a lot of people thought it was going to be. Going into this game, everybody had Down winning this one, but Wexford gave them an almighty scare. Down had to score 3 late points with Ryan McAvoy getting a late equaliser to take it to extra time, and eventually in extra time they got the job done against Wexford, and they secure their place in the Sam Maguire Cup for 2026. For Wexford, heartbreak, but back-to-back promotions under John Hegarty, there's no doubt they are heading in the right direction.
They absolutely are. Like, Wexford have had an absolutely unbelievable season. I mean, the win they had against Westmeath, I love seeing it online with the Aguero commentary. I think it's quite fitting, to be honest with you. And again, the emotion. You saw the crowd when they were panning it to the crowd when they were celebrating that goal towards it. And you saw what it meant to Wexford to get promotion back up to Division 2. Absolutely love seeing it. But in terms of the game last night, yeah, look, I think Wexford will be kicking themselves. There was a golden opportunity there to win it. I think they were in such a good position as well. They were playing some really nice football. I think they were doing a lot better than Downward, to be honest with you, particularly in the second half. I felt like Down at times didn't really have an answer for them. Like the fact that they went 3 points up and there wasn't too much long to go in the game. Yeah, I think they'd be kicking themselves, to be honest with you, Wexford. Like I think they would have really loved to have won, really good national silverware before going into a Leinster Championship campaign. But look, ultimately for Down, I think it was crucial that they won this from their perspective. They won the Todger Cup a couple of years ago. They've won the Division 3 now. It could catapult them. Look, given their opponents are Donegal in the opening round, I don't think it's going to do too much for them from that perspective. But it's still great for them to get a piece of national silver. And who knows, maybe if they could turn up against Donegal, you never know. Maybe we could see shock. You never know. And especially given the players that Down do have at their disposal, the likes of Caleb Doherty, the likes of Daniel McGuinness, who I was very, very impressed with yesterday, or Murdoch, who I'm a huge, huge fan of. I love watching him play football. Havern as well at full forward. Some of these players, like, there's a lot of really good footballers in Down, and I think they're a team that belongs to be at a level like Division 2, to be honest with you. I don't think Division 3 is the division that they should be in, if I'm being brutally honest about it. Like, we all expected them to come straight back up, and they've done just that, and they did it really with very minimal fuss. And now winning this final was anything but minimal fuss, but they've done it in good fashion. They'll be up in Division 2 next year. I can imagine their full ambition is to, I wouldn't even say to not just stay up, but I'd say even get a mid-table finish maybe, or something like that. Just try and prove that they're able to compete. Because you look at Division 2 next year, you have Tyrone, you have Dublin, you have Monaghan. Like, there's a lot of really Derry, exactly. Like, there's a lot of really good teams. Jeez, Division 2 is going to be great next year. I can't lie. It's going to be hella entertaining. But it's actually going to be like an Ulster Championship, to be honest with you. You've Cavan in there as well, so it could be a mini Ulster Championship to a degree. But yeah, look, for Down, it's great for them to get the win. Obviously, I know there's a lot of controversy online over the antics towards the end of the game with the hand passing for, 3 minutes before before the shot, which was just absolutely scuppered. But and I can't remember who it was, which Wexford player it was that just tapped him on the back and just started doing this, you know, to the crowd or whatever after he missed it. But I love seeing that. That's what we mean. It brings back to the point of emotion. I love seeing that, you know, a bit of shithousery. We love to see it, to be honest with you. But
as long as it's not scummy, like.
Yeah, exactly. No, of course not. But
yeah.
Yeah, but overall, look, really enjoyed the game. Devastated in a way for Wexford. Would have been great for Leinster football if they'd have gone and won Division 3, especially against a very good Ulster opposition. But at the end of the day, they've gotten promotion, back-to-back promotions. They're going to be playing in Division 2 next year. Look, whether they stay up or not right now, we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, cracking final, really enjoyed it. And look, Down overall, we're better in extra time, so they probably did deserve to win it overall. But yeah, I have to say, I think the Division 3 finals over the last number of years have been growing in stature and they've been growing in quality in Croke Park. And I think yesterday was no exception.
Absolutely. Well, when you look at this, like, Down in extra time probably did enough to get over the line, but there's no question about it. Wexford will see this as an opportunity missed in terms of they probably could have closed the game out in normal time. However, the progress they have made in such a short period of time has been staggering under John Hegarty. He's done an immense job since he took the reins. If you were to go back to 2024, when Down won the Tailteann Cup, and say that, you know, at the time when Wexford, at that time, were in Division 4, and say that in 2026, Wexford would take Down to extra time in the Division 3 final, like, the way that they have made progress so fast in such a short period of time is staggering. And I don't think Wexford will be able to get to the Leinster final, so I do think they will be in the Tailteann Cup, but I think they'll be one of the front runners for the Tailteann Cup, in my opinion. When you look at the kind of the mix of teams that have won it, I think Wexford are an absolute prime candidate. Doiker here saying, as a Wexford football fan, if we got out of the mindset of being a hurling county, I think we would be a force in football. We've done nothing in hurling in 60 years. All Ireland winners in 1996. Maybe you meant to say football. I don't know. Leinster winners in 2019 and 2004.
We won't mention 2004. That one didn't happen.
Yeah. Well, you were only 2 years old, isn't
it? I don't care. I hold a grudge.
A2 here saying, problem arising so fast means you can fall fast too. Down has been a steady climb. That's a great point. I think Limerick are a good example of that. Promoted up to Division 2, back-to-back promotions, and then back-to-back relegations down to Division 4. So it can fall fast if your eyes fast, but Down have been on a steady pattern of growth. Now, they, after getting relegated last year to Division 3, they're straight back up to Division 2 and worthy winners of the division when you look at the entirety of it. But now we're moving on to Carlow, who made history against Longford. Carlow 124, Longford 218. Carlow making history with their Division 4 title. Incredibly, it's their first league or championship win since the 1940s when they won that Leinster championship in the team that included the legendary Gemma Ray. It's an incredible day for Carlow. Yeah, and Longford made them sweat for it. They had to go to extra time, but, you know, key performers like Ross Dunphy with 1-3, crucial in them getting over the line. A famous day for Carlow.
Yeah, it's Carlow rising. It's been a great weekend for them, to be honest with you. Yeah, they're going back up to Division 3 next year with a piece of silverware. And again, you know, it was essentially an all Leinster final yesterday as well. So I'd have been happy for either one of them, to be honest with you, to win it. But do you know what it is? Carlow, for the population and the size of the county, etc., it's great to see them getting some silverware in Croke Park. And like you mentioned, it's such a long time since they won anything in football. So it's fantastic from their perspective. Liam Gavin as well getting 4 points from corner forward. Conor Doyle getting 4 points as well. So they had a lot of top class performers on the day. Pádraig Bulger, or Bulger, whichever way you pronounce it, getting 3 points as well from wing back. So look, it's great. And I think it set the tone for the next 2 league finals. I wouldn't say the Division 1 winner, because obviously of how one-sided it was. But I think it set the tone for good, very tightly contested games for the remainder of the weekend for Division 3 and Division 2, because this was very, very tightly played. It was a draw at halftime. Like, it's funny, like, because Carlow started off really, really well. And then Oisin O'Toole's goal, which I think wasn't there like an advantage that was given for that. Instead, the referee just allowed play to go on, etc. I could be wrong saying off the top of my head, but I think that was the right decision, allowing him to get the shot off and allowing him to just continue on with the play. That's when the referee uses the advantage rule to the absolute best, to be honest with you. And yeah, second half, it was absolutely neck and neck. You're then thinking the goal from Ross Dunphy, you're thinking, okay, Carlow are going to kick on here, which they did. They were leading by 5 points at one stage, but then the goal from Oren Kenny brings it back to a 2-point game. And then it's just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And yeah, I have to say, extra time really served up a treat as well. I mean, to be fair to Carlow, you got to give them credit. Coming out and scoring 7 points in extra time, even to be fair, even to Longford even scoring 4 points in extra time is absolutely fantastic, to be honest with you, in the space of such a short period of time. But look, Longford will have their regrets. There's no doubt about that, and they would have absolutely loved to have won this. But I think take nothing away from Carlow. They've been brilliant throughout the league campaign, and yeah, it's great for them to get some silverware on the board as we head into the season, and especially as well after the way Carlow football kind of was last year. With the controversies off the pitch, etc., and the performances even on the field. I can remember the day they got absolutely butchered by Meath as well. It's great for them to be in this position now, and it sets them up very, very nicely heading into the Leinster Championship.
Absolutely. So we have a couple of questions here from Garrow Dog saying, so will Wexford versus Dublin in the Football League next year be on a Wexford Park or the curtain raiser to a Meath home game in the Football League in Croke Park? We will cross that bridge when we come to it. That's a very interesting situation. I think maybe we might move to Parnell Park on those games, Ger. Jer also asking general question from the weekend: did the league finals show that the hooter ruins the last 10 minutes of games? Now this one is quite common across the board, and it's been an Achilles heel for the GAA really ever since they introduced these new hooters. And I was fairly strong on my opinion that the hooter as it is now is the best way. However, I'm not stubborn enough to not acknowledge when there's clearly a problem, and it is very frustrating when teams do this thing of keeping the ball for 2 minutes just so they can have the last play. And clearly that is something that teams are doing. Down absolutely did it at the end of that game against Wexford, and but the other hooter where the hooter goes and that's it, the game's over, that's a ticking time bomb as well. Like that is absolutely a ticking time bomb, because as we were talking about it, we saw it with Tomas Kennedy fisting over that winner for Kerry against Roscommon in round 1 and the amount of controversy that caused. Imagine if that was in an All-Ireland final. So I think we're in a weird situation where, from what I can see, we have a choice between what risk we want to take or whether we just want to go back to how the game used to be refereed, with additional time added on and the referee blows the whistle on that last play. And to be honest, like, I think the worst out of the three, for me, the worst out of the three options is the one where the hooter goes and that's it, the game's just over, because I guarantee you it's going to happen where someone's going to take a shot on the hooter and everybody's going to argue whether it was on or before the hooter or after the hooter or everything like that. But I don't like this system of hanging on to the ball just so you get the last play either. So yeah, I'm almost leaning back to let's just scrap the hooter entirely at this stage.
I didn't mind it last year, the way they operated it, to be honest with you. Like, I can even think back to when we played that Division 3 final and we were up by 2 points in the last minute and Kildare were on the ball, the hooter goes, and it does create a small bit of drama in the last play of the game. You either get 2-pointer and you draw the game, or you get a goal and you win the game. If you get a point, or if you kick it wide, then it's game done. Like, although it will make, say, a certain team drop 40, well, obviously you can't drop 40 men behind the ball now, but like drop every man, but obviously the 3 up behind the ball, it does create a bit of drama as well, because everyone's on edge. It's like one mistake here and you're screwed, or, the other team is holding on for dear life. It's, for me, I didn't mind that, to be honest. I kind of liked it. Or even seeing who was it Joe O'Connor last year, or was it Gavin White, whoever was, just booting the ball into the stand when Kerry beat Donegal when the hooter went. Like, just seeing something like that, I think was quite funny. But I don't know, I'm not a fan of when the hooter goes, game's done, stop, because I just have a feeling it's gonna come and bite some team in the arse. It's gonna come and really hurt a team or an individual player at the worst possible time. Like, you could just picture now, just say just off the top of my head, Galway and Derry are in the All-Ireland final. it's 1 point in it, and Shane Walsh takes a kick, but the hooter goes as he leaves his foot. What do you do then? Do you know,
Yeah.
like just something like that? And I just would not want that. I wouldn't want that for Derry. I wouldn't want that for Galway, because it then, you know, or any team that's in it, it then just creates a lot of tension and a lot of conversations in the media that players don't need, or that even the GA don't need, to be honest with you. It'd be no different to what did we say last year? Robert Doyle saved the GEA, stopping the ball off the line against John Donnelly from the score gate, as we call it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of it. I would bring back the way it was last year personally. Wouldn't even be against stoppage time to a degree, but I think the way they had it last year was fine, and I didn't really see why they had to change it.
Yeah, if I have to vote, I'd agree with you on that. I used to see a lot of situations where no matter what the referee added on, people would always be like, "Oh, that's far too much," or "far too little," or everything like that.
Yeah.
Just then wait until a team deliberately breaches the 3-up rules in the dying seconds to prevent their opponent scoring a goal. That would be, to be honest, I think that would break the system. What's gas is as well is it's one of the rules where whenever you hear the fans shout and breach, you're like, you very, very much believe that they're right. I don't think loads of people shout breach for no reason. But anyway, obviously the ref can't give it based off that. But that's the Football League finals recapped. Massive congratulations to Donegal, to Meath, to Down, and to Carlow for capturing national silverware, and a special shout out to Carlow as well, winning their first national title since the 1940s when they won the Leinster title. Unbelievable stuff. And now we're going to move on to the 3 Hurling League finals, which took place across the weekend. And starting off, we have Laois beating Kerry by 318 to 13 points. A fantastic win for Laois in O'Moore Park. Aaron Dunphy hit 11 points. Tomas Keys at 1-2, and Cillian Dunn and Fiacre Fennell also hit the back of the net for the O'Moore County. Silverware for them in their home ground. And you have to say, Liam, throughout Division 2, they have been head and shoulders the best team in the division.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about that. Laois were too good for Division 2A. There's no question about that. Will they be good enough to stay up in Division 1B next year? We'll just have to wait and see. I hope they are, for their sake. Look, obviously I know Offaly and Laois have this rivalry, but at the same time, I think there's a lot of good hurling in Laois. I think there's a lot of really good clubs in Laois as well. You saw it last year, Clock Balacolla getting narrowly close to knocking out Ballyhale Shamrocks in, the Leinster semi-final. They got to a Leinster final in 2020. Camross are really proud hurling club as well. There's a lot of good clubs that are coming up as well, the likes of Balnakill, the likes of Rathdowney Earl were in the final 2 years ago. Like, there's a lot of really proud hurling clubs in Laois, and I don't want to see them, dropping down the divisions or anything like that. I think it'd be good for Leinster hurling as well if we have a strong Laois team, strong Westmeads, these types of teams, strong Meath hurling team, hopefully in the next couple of years, maybe, obviously the rise of Kildare as well. So, but look, like you said, Laois, deserved winners, overall deserved winners yesterday, but deserved winners of the league in general. The game that they faced off in Laois and Kerry a few weeks ago was narrowly close. This one was anything but. Obviously, it was decided at the start of the season that whoever was in the final and the first place team would have home advantage. Not really sure I'm a fan of teams having home advantage for a league final, if I'm going to be completely honest about it. Like, even having, say, Limerick and Cork next weekend in the Gaelic grounds, or Cork and Tip last year in Páirc Uí Chaoimh, I can't lie to you, not really a fan of it. I would prefer if they were at neutral grounds, to be honest with you. But at the same time, look, whether that'll change anytime soon, we'll have to wait and see. But overall, I think you could have played this game in Croke Park. You could have played this game in Nolan Park. I think Laois would have won either way. I think they are the strongest side. Like you mentioned, Tomas Keys, I'm a huge fan of his, getting a goal in 2 points. I think he's going to have a big season for Laois if they're to go up from the Joe McDonagh this year back to the Leinster Championship. Aaron Dunphy getting 11 points, like you mentioned. Aidan Corby getting a point as well. I think he's one of the strongest midfielders, in the lower divisions as well. I think he would do very, very well in other counties. Fiacre Fennell getting a goal as well. So, yeah, look, a lot of really good performers from Laois yesterday. And they'd be absolutely delighted to be just heading straight back up to Division 1B. It was their ambition at the start of the year. Speaking to Owen Gahan, their goalkeeper, the other day, he said it himself, their ambition was to go straight back up. Tommy Fitzgerald said it himself that Laois need to be hurling at the highest level possible. And they've done exactly that. They're going to be back getting some good games next year against the likes of Offaly, against the likes of Waterford, Wexford. They're the games that they want to be playing and proving their worth in. For Kerry, I wouldn't read too much into this. They're back up to Division 1B next year. And I think they will win the Christie Ring this year quite comfortably, or at least they're the strongest looking side in it, judging off the league campaign anyway. So, look, disappointing day for them. Despite the best efforts of the likes of Liam O'Connor and Ronan Walsh, but at the end of the day, look, they've secured themselves promotion. The only 2 games they've lost were against Laois, which I don't think there's any shame in that, to be honest with you. And it's a big jump up for John Griffin's side compared to the state that Kerry GAA, or not Kerry GAA, but Kerry Hurling was in general last year.
Yeah, I agree. Jay saying I agree with neutral venues for 1A and 1B. Just feel the support base is so small in the lower tier counties that you have to give home advantage to one team to have any crowd. I think there's an added bonus as well as kind of putting a carrot on it as well to try and finish in that top spot in order to get home advantage for the league final. That's another element to it. And he also asked, how did Kerry go from losing to Laois by a point while a man down 4 weeks ago to what happened yesterday? If you could answer that question, you'd be a rich man. And then Dublin is great, getting the dig in at Kerry. We love to see the banter on the show as always. This is a great weekend. Kerry losing by a combined total of 26 points. That's living up to the Dublin is great name. But anyway, points. Great win for Laois. And we will move on now to the Division 3 Hurling League final, where Matthew called this one absolutely spot on, saying that Wicklow would shade it. Wicklow beating Donegal 3-16. 2 goals and 18 points in Ockram. 2 late goals from Shawnee Germain made sure that Wicklow came from 5 down to win and also completed his hat-trick in the process. Podge Doyle showed well with 8 points. Donegal's key man was Liam McKinney, who hit a goal and 10. So obviously a massive shout to him. But again, brilliant win for Wicklow and National Silverware.
I was about to say, the only man's name you need to be saying here is Shawnee's name. Getting a hat-trick in a National League final is absolutely super business from him, and congratulations to him on securing the win there. Donegal, I can imagine, look, I'm sure the footballers softened some of the blow today, but for the poor hurlers, I can imagine they're sickened this morning, losing in that fashion. 2 late, like it's United Bayern Munich in 1999, completely. 2 late goals and you win the biggest prize. It's absolutely unbelievable. I feel sorry for Liam McKinney. He's a top class player. I've seen clips of him playing over the last year or two for Donegal, and he's a really, really good player, getting a goal and 5 points. I believe he got the goal for play. He got 5 points for play. I know that. He really, really showed up for Donegal yesterday. And it's unfortunate for them. I'm sure they would have absolutely loved to have won the Division 3 title. But for Wicklow, unbelievable achievement for them. Wicklow Hurling, I think, has been in a good place over the last number of years. It's been rising steadily. I know Michael Verney, who's the hurl for Offaly, was down and hurled for Wicklow for a small bit as well. And he says there's great work going on down there. So delighted to see that. And a great high scoring final as well, which we love to see. 3-16 to 2-18 was the same score as the All-Ireland final in 2018 between Galway and Limerick. And that was a cracking game as well. So look, fair play to Wicklow. Fantastic win for them. I think overall, based on, the Division 3 in general, Wicklow probably ultimately deserve to win the division after winning 6 out of their 7 games. Obviously, Donegal winning 5 out of 7, which was still a very, very impressive record from them. But yeah, great win for Wicklow as they head into the championship.
Absolutely. So a lot of people commenting on this saying, unfortunately, our lads couldn't get to the final. Peter saying Fortress Ockram. Ockram is just a cauldron. And Ryan said our lads even beat Wicklow in round 1. We're going to move on now to the final Hurling League final, which took place across the weekend, and that was Sligo beating Longford by 221 to 412 in Markovich Park. Andrew Kilcullen hit 1-8. Gerard O'Kelly Lynch hit 1-3, and that was key in Sligo's victory. Ruben Murray obviously deserves a massive shout out for Longford as well. He got 1-6 for the losers on this occasion, but put in a stellar display. It was much closer than it was a few weeks ago when the sides met in the normal league. But for Sligo, it's an incredible victory.
It really is. And look, 2 late goals, again, similarly to the Wicklow Donegal game, 2 late goals from Ruben Murray and Michael Mulcahy made the scoreline look a bit more respectful, or, gave it a bit of a gloss over anyways. But look, it's a great win for Sligo to win it. And I would say, judging by that, because obviously it wasn't shown anywhere, which was unfortunate, to be honest with you, that these 2 games weren't shown on even the TG Car YouTube channel or something like that. And it's not it's not even knocking TG Car, because by God, TG Car have done absolutely unbelievable work, not just this season, but over the last number of years, and showing under 20 games during the week, minor games, etc. I think they're the leading example for GA coverage at this present moment in time, alongside the likes of Clubber and Ulster GA TV, all those kind of different streaming platforms. But it is disappointing that 2 national finals were not shown anywhere, over the course of the weekend. And I'm sure there was people from Sligo or people from Longford who couldn't get to the game that would have enjoyed to have seen the game, maybe been able to watch it back. And that's the thing as well. You want to see players like the O'Kelly Lynches because they're really, really good players. You want to see players like Andrew Kilcullen score a goal in 8 points. You want to see Mulcahy, a corner forward. You want to see Ruben Murray, but if they're not being shown anywhere, how can people from these counties, how can you grow the game? That is just a bit unfortunate. But look, on the game anyways itself, I expected Sligo to win this game. I expected them to beat Longford. Probably didn't expect them to win it as comfortably if you take away the 2 goals at the end as that. But at the same time, Sligo have been the best side in this division this season. They've won every single game on top of winning this one here. And I think they can cause some serious trouble potentially in Division 3 next season. And it's great for them to get some silverware. Could potentially be the start of multiple pieces of silverware for them throughout the season.
Absolutely. So, Peter, there, like TG Carr are the industry leaders, in my opinion, in terms of getting bang for your buck and getting like the absolute maximum out of what they have. But I do agree, like it's one of those situations where I wouldn't be surprised if the Sunday League Sunday has highlights of these hurling league finals. So obviously in those situations, there is a camera at the game. I'm like, get the YouTube set up the same way the TG Carr have it set up. Get the YouTube set up and stream it live. Not only will people watch, not only is it good to grow the game, it's good for business. You will up your subscribers on that YouTube channel. You will get the ad revenue from that. If you want to turn that on, people wouldn't complain. It's good for business. And it's if we're serious about growing the game of hurling, then every inter-county game should be shown somewhere. That's the goal. That should be the goal. And I understand that, but fans understand that you can't have 2 trucks with a massive production team at every game with the presenter and the pundits and the commentator and the co-commentator and everything like that. We get that. We understand that you can't get that to every game. But when there's a camera at the game, why not then stream it live on YouTube with a commentator and happy days the way that Clubber do it? That would make fans happy. That's a way we could step the game forward. So that's what I would be advocating for. What?
Even a dodgy commentator. People don't care. Like
a dodgy commentator makes it more fun.
Hell, I'm a commentator for Clubber. I'm a dodgy commentator, but people don't care.
Jerry here saying would love a 4TE/GA plus tuck TG Carr's league in how you show the last round of round robins for when the show last round. I agree. Super Sunday style for the Leinster Munster Championships would be absolutely brilliant for fans to watch as well. But anyway, massive congratulations to Sligo, to Wicklow, and to Laois for capturing national silverware in the National Hurling League. And now we're going to move on. Heartbreak here. And because this was the last round and there was stuff decided, I'm going to group these games together. But there was massive drama in the final round of the National LGFA League. Huge drama on the last day of the National LGFA League Division 1. Dublin relegated despite beating Cork, who are going to the final. Dublin won 2-8 to 1-6. But a last gasp Marion Farrelly equaliser for Meath against Armagh Summerhill keeps the Royal County in Division 1 and relegates Dublin. I mean, you can't write this stuff. But incredibly, the All-Ireland champions have been relegated to Division 2. I don't think anybody would have predicted that at the start of the campaign. Cork and Galway, who were the Division 2 finalists last year, are now the Division 1 final pairing. It's been a crazy league campaign in the LGFA this year. And the one thing that it's proven is teams have been taking points off each other left, right, and centre. The championship is clearly very, very open. I think every team in Division 1 this year, in my opinion, has a realistic shot of winning the All-Ireland, which is crazy to say.
Yeah, absolutely. No, the All-Ireland Championship this year in the ladies football is going to be very much wide open, to be honest with you. There's a lot of really good teams in it. You got to feel for Waterford going and beating Galway by 6 points and still not being able to reach the final in the end. But yeah, for Dublin, I mean, for yourself and Aaron, relegation from Division 1 in both the men's and the ladies football, I mean, it's not great, to be fair. Probably not as bad for the ladies footballers, just considering they won the All-Ireland last year, so it might not hurt as much maybe as it would for the footballers. And I fully expect the Dublin ladies footballers to come straight back up next year, to be honest with you. The men's one might be a bit more difficult. I think they'll have a bit of a tougher challenge. But listen, fantastic for Cork and Galway. It shows how good the football is at the moment in ladies in LGFA, that you can have the Division 2 final last year be this year's Division 1 final. Should be a cracking encounter as well between the two sides. And yeah, look, honestly, brilliant final day of football. I'd say Kerry at this stage are just delighted that the league is done, because I'd say it's been a very up and down league for them. They've been much more impressive away from home than they were at home. We mentioned their home record has not been good this year, and they'd be disappointed to have only won 3 games out of 7. But at the end of the day, league is the league. They'll be fully turning their attention now to the championship in a couple of weeks, and yeah, best of luck to Cork and Galway in the finals. I'm sure Matthew will be absolutely delighted with this now, getting to see Galway again in a final. Hopefully it just goes bad for them in the ladies. What was it in the Camogie last year? But yeah, should be good for them anyway.
Absolutely. No, there's no question about it. It was unbelievable drama on the last day of the LGFA League. Marion Farley's last gasp equalising point, keeping Meath in Division 1 for another year. Kerry getting a 1-point win in Hawkfield against Kildare. That saved them. And Dublin, despite beating Cork, who are going to the final, Dublin, the All-Ireland champions, have been relegated. It's absolutely crazy stuff. And yeah, it's as even as it's been in a long, long time. And just to remind you on those results, Dublin did beat Cork by 2 goals and 8 points to 1 goal and 6 goals in that one from Annabelle Timothy and Michelle Davern got Dublin over the line against Cork, while Katie Quirk led the way for the Rebels in that game. Then you had Kerry beating Kildare in that game I mentioned in Hawkfield. Absolutely crucial victory for the Kingdom there. Armagh and Meath drew by a goal and 8 to 11 points in Summerhill. And Waterford got back on the winning way, beating Galway by 12 to 12 points in Kilrossanty. What stood out to you from this round of fixtures, Liam, apart from obviously the obvious headline?
Yeah, look, I think Waterford beating Galway, because that could potentially be a game that we see once again later this year in the latter stages. Potentially, I suppose, as well, maybe Dublin beating Cork, just given the difference in, the two of their league campaigns. But at the same time, Cork were already in the final. So it's probably not much of a surprise that they maybe took their foot off the gas a small bit, and Dublin were absolutely fighting for their lives today. But yeah, look, I think it was good for Kerry to just finally get themselves another win on the board as well. Kildare running Kerry close is also a big standing point as well, because it just shows you that Kildare have been on a good run over the last while. I think that win against Armagh now last year shows that it was absolutely, no fluke whatsoever. That Kildare are a team that are on the rise, that they're moving quite steadily through the ranks at the moment. So look, again, Kildare may be relegated, but I think they could have a potentially good Division 2 campaign next season. I don't think the teams... it wouldn't surprise me if Dublin and Kildare just came straight back up, to be honest with you. I think they'd be very, very strong in Division 2 next year. So yeah, no, those are the major talking points. And yeah, I think we have a crack in Division 1 final to look forward to.
Absolutely, we do. Jer asking here, did Michelle Davern not play for Galway? I think you're thinking of Alva Davern. Jer, obviously, Alva and Michelle Davern both play for Kilmacud Crokes in Dublin, but Michelle is from Dublin and Alva Davern is from Galway and transferred over to Kilmacud Crokes. Yeah, heartbreak that we've got relegated, but I do agree with you, Liam. I think Dublin and Kildare will bounce straight back up from Division 2 next year. I'd be pretty confident in that. Kildare have absolutely proven that they belong at the top table as well. So only time will tell, saying, yeah. But we'll move on now to Division 2's final round as well. There was some big drama in that division. Running through the results, Division 2, Round 7 from the National LGFA League 2026. It saw Westmeath beat Cavan by 115 to 2-9 in Breffni Park. Donegal beat Wexford by 11 points to 3 in O'Donnell Park. Mayo beating Monaghan by 214 to 9 points in McHale Park. And Tipperary and Tyrone having a bizarre scoreline in their game. Tyrone 5-10, Tipperary 5-5. So if you were looking for goals, Liam, you got your money's worth there. What was your thoughts on the final round of fixtures and then obviously the permutations in Division 2?
Yeah, Tipperary Tyrone screams final day mid-table Premier League clash where the two teams are on the beach and they just don't care, to be honest with you, what happens at all. Let's just go out and entertain the supporters, and like you said, you'd have been entertained anyways. There's no doubt, there's no question about that. And I suppose the win for Tyrone as well moved them to level on points and above Tipperary in the table in the standings as well, which I suppose that I might have been a small bit happy with as well. But yeah, look, for Westmeath, crucial for Westmeath actually, because even though Cavan, they'd already gotten themselves in a very good position before today, it wasn't a game that really mattered to them in the slightest.
And
It
they're
was great for
promoted.
Westmeath. Yeah, exactly. So I think from what I heard from Jason Cúilín from the Love of Bread podcast, who was actually covering the game for us today on Midlands 103, I think Cavan made a lot of changes for this game, so it's hard to tell, that it's hard to say that they were fully up for the game or anything like that. But crucial win for Westmeath, to be honest with you. I believe that result also now sends Monaghan and down with Wexford as well. So that was a really, really crucial win for Westmeath. Oh, Westmeath are gone.
Westmeath are down. Sorry. Westmeath are down anyway.
Okay, never mind.
According to the RTE tables, that second win took them to 6 points, but Monaghan are on 7.
Yeah,
This
never mind. I think Scorpio added a win for Westmeath somewhere else. I was thinking, I was like, wait a minute, I thought Westmeath went down, and I was looking, I was like, maybe I was wrong, maybe I heard this wrong, but no, look, still a good win for Westmeath.
Just to clarify, Cavan and Donegal promoted, Westmeath and Wexford down.
Yeah. That's my mistake in that part. I was too that when you hear it earlier and you're like, yeah, they're gone, and then you see it somewhere and you're like, wait, are they up?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's confusing, but nope, still a good win for Westmeath. They didn't have Anna Jones playing today or Sarah Dillon, so I can imagine they'll want to get them back fairly quickly before the championship gets underway. For Cavan and Donegal to be back in the final now, look, it's going to be a very good final, I think. Look, probably say Cavan might go into it as favourites potentially. I think they've had a very good league campaign, but at the same time, Donegal, look, I think Donegal have not been as good over the last number of years. Obviously, you saw them in the Ulster final last year against Armagh. They were fairly much off the pace from Armagh anyways, but Armagh are fairly ahead of everybody in Ulster at this present moment in time, if we're going to be completely honest about it. A great win for Mayo to round off their league campaign as well against Monaghan. A very, very good 11-point win, even though I still, look, it's hard to know whether they'll be as close to Galway as they would probably hope, but still great for them to round off the campaign on a positive note.
Absolutely. So we're going to move then to the LGFA League Division 3 round 7. Some big results here as well. Antrim beating Down by 2 goals and 8 points to 1-9 in Park Esler. Clare and Roscommon drawing 2-9 each in Lissy Casey. Laois beating Louth by 9 points to 8 at the Integral GA grounds. And Fermanagh beating Limerick by 2-10 to 1-7 in Temple Maguires. And the final then table sees Louth and Antrim promoted out of Division 3 into Division 2. So both teams that contested the junior final last year both promoted up to Division 2, while Clare and Limerick are the teams that are relegated to Division 4 for next season. Liam, your thoughts on those results?
Yeah, crucial for Laois to, first of all, stay in Division 3. I think it would have been a disaster for them if they went down to Division 4, because I don't think they're a team that should be, much like Leitrim, I don't think they're a team that should be down in Division 4, to be honest with you. I think Laois could even be a team that should be looking for promotion, to be honest with you, up to Division 2. Just certain results didn't go their way this season, as Stephen Duff would have particularly liked. But look, good for them to get the win against Louth, and against a very good Louth team as well, to beat them by a point. But yeah, look, I think Louth and Antrim will be a very interesting final as well. Two very good teams, and it's hard to predict now who will actually come out on top of that one. It's going to be very, very tough. Good for Fermanagh to get a final win as well on the last day, even though it was against a Limerick side that were, like you said, they were already relegated. So how much do you read into it from that perspective? But yeah, I think we should be in for a very good Louth versus Antrim final. Like you said, Antrim getting a big win away to Down by 2 points, and good overall day closing up.
Absolutely. Another detail that we have to mention, Ryan mentioning Cavan just up from Division 3. There's back-to-back promotions for them. They obviously won the Division 3 final last year, and now we'll see how they get on in the Division 2 final as well. And we have our first final pairing that was made by semi-finals as well after this weekend. The final action we're touching on is the Division 4 semi-finals that saw Carlow beating Offaly by 4 goals and 11 points to 2 goals and 8. Sorry, Liam, in Port Arlington. And Leitrim beating Sligo by 2 goals and 10 points to 1 goal and 11 in Orchard Park. I think if you're looking at the names in the division, I think Carlow and Leitrim, to be fair, stood out in terms of, the strides that both of them have been making, and now they're going to meet in the final.
Yeah, look, I was at this game earlier between Offaly and Carlow, and look, it has to be said, Carlow were the much better side, as much as it hurts to say they were. They were on top from the start to the finish, to be honest with you. Like, Offaly just had no real answer for them. to be quite honest, Caoimhin O'Neill's goal after 6 minutes really set the tone for them, and they kind of just never looked back from there, to be honest with you. They were the much better side over the course of the 60 minutes. I was speaking to Roisin Bailey, the captain, after the match, and she was absolutely delighted with the victory, and she said that this will do so much for Carlow football. A victory like this, there was great celebrations afterwards, which obviously is great for them. Obviously, I didn't enjoy seeing it, obviously, but just for today, I'd be delighted if they were to go on and obviously win the final against Leitrim, obviously just from a Leinster perspective. But look, Carlow have a lot of really nice footballers on their team. Fun fact from today, there was 2 Sarah Doyles playing, and they were both wearing number 14. So that was a nice bit of unique trivia. It might be a pub quiz question in a couple of years' time anyway. But unfortunately, from our perspective, poor Sarah Doyle, from an Offaly perspective, wasn't on the ball as much as maybe we would have liked. Caoimhin Lynham was the one who was kind of taking control today for us and trying to get scores. We got it back to 6 points at one stage. She got 2 goals in the game. She landed over a couple of frees. Offaly did get a few softish frees, I'll be honest about it. To be honest, the referee was sort of on our side at times, I will admit that. But overall, take nothing away from Carlow. Clíona Ní Sé had a top class performance as well. The penalty she got at the end kind of just summed up the entirety of the game and summed up the dominance of them. And I wish them all the best of luck in the final against Leitrim. Should be a cracking one.
Absolutely, should be. Carlow have been building for years, and obviously Leitrim All-Ireland intermediate champions in 2024. So plenty of excitement building ahead of that final as well. But that is the weekend review show all wrapped up. And just for the record, we spent 3 hours recording yesterday as well. So I'm taking a break from recording any pods until Thursday. I'm not doing nothing. But Peter saying, great review, lads. Thanks a mil. Catch you Thursday at 8 p.m. And Ryan also saying, thanks, lads. See you on Thursday. And they couldn't have said it better myself. We will be back again live on Thursday night at 8 p.m. for another weekend preview show as we look ahead to the National Hurling League finals, which are obviously taking place next weekend as well, and also the National Camogie League finals on the radar as well. Thank you so much to everybody who tuned in, got comments in, everything like that. Until our next episode on Thursday at 8 p.m. We will see you all then. Instinct, baby.